Well, hello, Chubbies. Well, hello. Hello. Welcome to Chubs Gone Wild, episode 457, recorded on August 15th, 2022, where it is currently 120 or 120. Please no, please no. 102 outside the Chubs Gone Wild studios, where it's quite sunny. Well, actually, looks a little overcast.
Oh, good. So it'll be nice and muggy.
Yeah, for our 107 and or 100
Tomorrow's 107. The next day is 105.
but then we get to 100 and rainy. What's that about? We don't live near Nessa. We should not have to put up with this. We're not in
She
Florida.
she's obviously kicking up that monsoon weather.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, she's practicing the craft. She's all like, send it to Sacramento. Woo! Sisters. All right. It is 57 days, just 57 days until Canadian Thanksgiving. Yay! The seasons begin. And 77 days till Halloween, 102 days until Thanksgiving, 131 to 32 days until Christmas, and 78 days until TJ Zombie Girl retires. Gonna be a blast. Oh, anyway, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcast videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from Univaz, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave Kingsley, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingames to see how you can become a supporter of the show for as little as $1 a month. Well, this was a very, very interesting day in history because it was full of music. Because on August 15th, 1969, the Woodstock Music Festival opened on a patch of farmland in White Lake, New York, in the town of Bethel. The longtime artist colony had already been home to Bob Dylan and other musicians, but the roster of acts also included the Jefferson Airplane, The Who, The Grateful Dead, Sly, and the Family Stone. I know they're some of your favorites. Yes?
Well, I know who they all are, yeah.
Oh, okay. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Creedence, Clearwater Revival, and more. Let me tell you, when you're kind of a youngin and you're, jamming to your Michael Jackson and your Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, Corey Hart, Duran Duran, and you hear some of these groups, you're all like, eh, okay, that's old music. But then when you get older and you go back and you listen to some of these, it's like you can really appreciate the amazing artists that they were and their music and how really kind of awesome they are. One of the things I did recently, which I really loved, was I found a copy on YouTube of a Simon and Garfunkel 1980 concert in Central Park. And I'll tell you, it was just awesome. I don't remember the last time I really appreciated them like for the artists that they were until I saw them like that. It's just really cool. So if you ever get nostalgic for an artist or just want to, go back and research John Denver or something, look up some of these older concerts on YouTube. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Anyway,
there was a nickname for um this particular time period in
yeah.
1969. Do you remember what that was called?
Oh, in '69, oh God, the Flower Power.
This
No.
was the Summer of Love.
Oh yeah, okay. I have heard that. Yeah.
And now don't forget this was the third big event that happened during this particular summer. Started off with Stonewall in
Oh,
at the
yeah.
end of June, and then mid-July we were walking on the moon, wink, wink,
Mm,
and then finished up um, being the whole thing with Woodstock that ran for 3 days and basically destroyed a small town. And
yes.
and then my birthday.
Oh, that was the summer of love.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, not my birthday, but
Right.
10th birthday.
Yeah. No, that's pretty dang cool. Um, did you notice that, or did you see that, the whole what they tried to redo the whole Woodstock thing not too long ago? There's a documentary on Netflix about
Yeah.
that and
It was
how it was just so fucked up.
20 plus years ago. Well, the difference is that people don't want to sleep in their VW vans anymore. So
Yeah.
trying to house that many people is crazy. And now there's limitations. I mean, they didn't have toilets back in 69. They had to bring stuff in because
Mhm.
they were not ready for the crowd. They were
Yeah.
the roads aren't meant to house those kind of people. Just started parking their cars and walking to the concert miles and miles away.
Yeah.
So they got to the concert and it ran pretty much 24 hours. Somebody was out there playing all the time. So
Yeah.
people,
Mm.
were like just sleeping on the lawns, and it was insane. So trying to redo that in 99 would have been hard to do, I think, just
Yeah.
especially I mean that many people coming together like that with that many artists is it takes some major planning, but in a major event area.
Right.
I
And
mean, some of them probably couldn't handle that many people, that many
oh
artists that
no.
long with and to put them somewhere where they can sleep. That's not a major hotel.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Guerneville during the Bear Weekend.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah. And the organizers of the original Woodstock didn't have a clue what they were doing. They were completely inexperienced, and they were like trying to basically raise money to start a recording company. But yeah, so they were completely like it's amazing what they were able to do because they just didn't have the experience to do it.
They thought they could get the people there, the artists there. The people would follow,
Mm,
and they found a location for the event, but they didn't plan on porta potties or
no,
food or water. The fact that it rained most of that weekend,
yeah,
the humidity,
uh,
it was a nightmare. I'm sure that the people that actually went there remember it as being an amazing event, but it was really just muddy,
mm,
hot.
yeah,
People were starving and dying of thirst.
uh,
That's just not my kind of idea of a good
no,
time.
but
But
it is.
still, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those like uh times uh in our history that was just amazing. Anyway, all right, well, let's find out if we celebrated any holidays today. By accident, of course. Today is the Assumption of Mary. It is the day when Mary said, I'm assuming that you, and then she never finished. Okay, anyway. It's also Chant at the Moon Day, which is observed annually on August 15th. I'm not sure exactly why, because the full moon's already passed. Also,
Well,
Chauvin.
remember, it's Dog Days of Summer,
Oh,
and it is mid month. They always like doing the Ides of months, so maybe it's something to do with
true.
that.
No. Um, Chauvin Day. No idea. Cupcake Day. I have no. Oh, that's in Australia. We can't have any here. I love cupcakes and cowgirl. Or obviously, I do love cupcakes, but that's not what the day was. I love cowboys and cowgirls day. I do. like some cowboys. National Arcadian Day. Best Friends Day. Oh, happy day.
What?
I
Oh,
said it.
please.
It's Best
You
Friends
wouldn't
Day.
stand it to me.
We all have to reach out to all our bestest friends and say Happy Best Friends Day. Happy Best Friends Day.
But
Uh, also, National Failures Day.
there you go.
Yeah, well, uh, Leathercraft, lemon meringue pie. Oh, that sounds delightful. Relaxation and stay home with your kids day. Nobody ever wants to celebrate that.
Oh, I know one woman who does,
Oh, but her kids have all moved on.
and her name is Carol.
Oh, I don't know. I think she'd rather be
Great.
out in the back
I try
gardening.
to throw something warm and wonderful about your name.
I
You just
know.
roll your eyes at it.
Yeah, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Yeah. Anyway, those are wonderful days. We're so happy that we celebrated. Today's affirmation, deep breath and hold and release.
Already
Speaking of
released.
release, I release all old oh hurts. I thought it said farts. I release all old hurts. As I forgive myself, it becomes easier to forgive others. If you don't love yourself, how the hell can you love somebody else? Anyway, that was delightful. Yeah, I do release all old hurts, but they end up coming boomeranging back about 2 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep, and I'm like, oh my god, do you remember that? Son of a bitch.
I release all old farts.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to release old fatty just yet. I mean, big fatty just yet. Yeah.
It's a
He had a
knife.
birthday quite recently, you know.
That's a double-edged knife.
Ah, it's true. But ah, all right. Hey, monkeypox is a rare disease in the same family as the monkeypox as the smallpox virus. Symptoms usually start within 3 weeks and include flu-like symptoms, rashes, and sores that can look like pimples or blisters. The illness typically lasts 2 to 4 weeks and is spread through direct touching infected areas of skin, body fluids, intimate contact, and touching items such as clothing, bedding, or towels used by someone with the virus. Learn more about it at cdc.gov, and this information is sponsored by Golden Rule Services, sacgrs.org. All right, let's pump up the volume so maybe I can read a little clearer. All right, queer headlines. Gay man.
You forgot birthdays completely.
Oh,
You
dang it,
forgot
man, I didn't want to celebrate.
chub hugs and feedback. You just passed by my birthday and shit on it. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's wipe the shit off and go ahead and talk about it.
Oh, I had a dream like that I had shit on my hand. It
Oh
was
my God, nobody needs to know that.
okay. It'll be on Big Fatty Show. Don't worry.
Now, there, it would actually be appropriate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today's birthdays. Happy birthday to Robert and John. And upcoming birthdays, we celebrate Ethan, Anderson, Stuart, Ricky, Kevin, Becky. Oh, that Adam Burns, Pride 48, 44 years old. Still looks like a baby. A baby what? I don't know. Joyce, Josh, John. Oh, John Hancock, who amazing artist who we've worked with for years and years. We have Kelly. Oh, Chubs Gone Wild host Tom Swanner coming up on the 18th. Oh, my stars. Well, happy birthday, Tom. Also, Amir Juan Ramos, another amazing artist who we have worked with for many, many years, and who also happens to be married to John Hancock. That's pretty cool. Wow. Anyway, also, happy birthday to Mike, Carl, Sharon, David, Sam Catalano.
21st.
Yep, there's a name that I haven't heard from a little bit. 21st birthday?
No, he's on the 21st.
No, a 20th.
Isn't it the 20th?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was the 21st too, but this says 20th. So, also to one of our amazing patrons, David. Thank you so much, David. Happy, happy birthday. And actually, David is really cool and very, very supportive of us. So we really appreciate that. Happy birthday, David. Also upcoming, Steve, Tamara, Victoria, Ryan, Scott, Precious Cargo. Oh, Princess Hannah. Princess Hannah's birthday is coming up, and also Jake. Happy birthday, everybody. I just feel so blessed to know so many wonderful people. Tom's giving me a mean look, but I was actually being serious. Okay. Nothing in our feed bag. How about Chub Hugs? What you got, sir?
Well, I've got one chub hug, and I'm giving it out to the person who remembered my anniversary and sent me this lovely card.
Oh, how
Yeah,
sweet is that?
I know. I love my Ouija.
So many do.
I mean, you sent me the card.
Oh, yes. Because your
It was so,
anniversary is coming up.
yeah, it was so funny because I was talking to an old friend whose birthday is actually the 19th, the day after mine.
Hmm.
And he was saying that his wedding anniversary is the 20th. So it's the day after his birthday. And I said, oh, mine's, 5 days after my birthday. And
Yeah.
it's like, ha, titter, titter, titter.
That's pretty cool. Do you get many anniversary cards?
No.
Yeah, didn't think so. Well, I mean, I don't have an anniversary, but I know that I don't hear many people talk about that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just cards are I don't know. Cards are the kind of, I guess, having a thing of the past.
Passe is the word.
Yeah, maybe. I still think they're kind of special though. I like to
Well,
just
I do. But
commemorate.
yeah, I think they're special too. But I think as far as like anniversaries go, like
Mhm.
especially with the gay community, so many of unless you post it, no one remembers shit.
Oh,
So
that's true.
if I were to go, oh, happy anniversary to my loving husband, then everyone would be going, oh, happy anniversary.
Yeah.
But most people don't remember shit. And the thing is, we're actually we got married on the anniversary of our first date, so that way I could make
Oh,
sure that if he misses one, he misses both of them.
right. Then
and
you
and
give them a
it's
double
easier to
whammy.
remember two on the same day. So
Yeah. I know that a lot of people that I know end up having their weddings like on their birthdays so that it's easier for them to remember. I only really remember three. I remember our friend Mark and Rob. I remember their birthday. I remember, or not birthday, but anniversary. I remember yours, and I have it in my calendar to remind me. And then I remember another friend of ours, but because I was so bitter about the whole thing.
it's okay. They're not married anymore.
That's right, they're not. Oh, well, too bad. So sad. Anyway.
See, all it took was just a little time and hard work on your half.
Oh, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to sit back and watch the implosion. But anyway, I do not, for those of you who are like, that's so cruel. No, you don't understand. I don't relish in anyone's misery or unhappiness, but this was just doomed from the start, girl. Anyway. All right. My chub hugs go out to Derek, our sweet friend who his mother who was in hospice, she passed. So chub hugs out to her, well, to him and his family.
Okay, how about all the frickin' dogs that have died this last week?
Oh my God. I can't even.
It's like every time I see somebody posting a picture of a dog, I'm like, I can't. And
Uh-huh.
they just got back from the stylist, so they're just a pretty picture. And then I get comfortable with it, and then I scroll down, and it's like, oh, what a cute, oh, it's dead. Oh
I
my God,
know.
why?
There's been so many that have been like they just got back from the vet and they were diagnosed with cancer, and some of them are like luckily they got everything and they're going to be okay. And then others are just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
It goes through cycles, I swear, on Facebook where it's like every day there's
well,
another.
because remember it was like right around between Christmas and well, like January. In
Yeah.
January, we knew all these people that died, all these
Uh-huh.
pets that died, and it seems like the dog days of summer is the dead dog days of summer. I
Uh,
mean, because there's this one guy in the Midwest. He's one of my friends on Facebook,
mhm.
and he is so distraught over his dogs dying that I just it just brings up all my pain,
Yeah.
suffering from his pain. And then a couple prominent people here in Sacramento, just within
Yeah.
days of each other, had their dogs die.
Yep.
And the thing is, we don't have children, we have pets.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's a major situation for us. And I shouldn't say that, because I think that it's odd that the pets become more than family members simply because they're the ones we see every day. They're
Right.
the ones we
And
wake up with, they're the ones we
yeah.
go to bed with.
And we're responsible for, so we have to take care of them. So there's
Right.
more investment,
And
Um,
and when they're that happens, it's just devastating. I
yeah,
speak from experience.
yeah, we both do. One of the more prominent people here in Sacramento whose pet did pass this last week, um, that pup was 18
Yeah.
and still a little vibrant pooch until the last. So yeah, it's just sad. I mean, if anybody out there that bonds with a pet like we have has lost their pet, they understand that it is beyond sad. It is life changing. Anyway, all right. Before I start getting too misty here, all right. Queer headlines: Gay man wins lawsuit against Catholic employer who refused to give his husband health care benefits. Good. Virginia governor wants to force teachers to out students to parents. Of course they do. Governor's perf. Also, allegedly.
You know what? They should be careful for what they ask for.
Uh-huh.
Is you start adding kids, and then before too long, you're going to have no students.
Yeah. Yeah. For multiple reasons. All
Yes,
right. Trans candidate Leah Fink
it's late.
wins. Okay. Thank you. Wins Minnesota State House primary, setting up historic candidacy. Heroic high school librarian who opposed removal of LGBTQ books receives a national honor. Awesome. GOP operative wants LGBTQ people or community put in isolation camps for their own protection. Mm-hmm. That's what they used to say about the Jewish people in Germany, Mr. GOP operative.
Oh, to throwing Nazis at them anymore is a badge of honor for them.
It
So
really is.
it's
Honestly, the new
there's no
Christian
shame.
nationalism.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
they just flat out say what was wrong with that.
yeah.
Giants baseball player Solomon Bates comes out as gay. Well,
Is,
that is awesome.
is he currently playing?
Um, that's a really good question. You know what? I can answer that really quickly. Kind of, sort of. Solomon
Okay.
Bates, basketball. Oh, hello, handsome.
You said he was baseball.
Yeah, he signed with a pro team 2 days after coming out. So yeah, yep. Yep, 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 yep.
I
He,
hope he plays.
me
They
too.
they tend to not play you until they can trade you or get rid
Right.
of.
Although I was happy to see that I think Cullen Pemperback, I can never remember his last name correctly. The guy that took a knee and led that movement, he just got signed, I believe. So, football.
Isn't he a little old now?
Well, no, he was this guy just got signed and he's 40. So, yeah, right?
Okay. I okay.
Okay. Anyway, all right. And now Tom would like to talk to you about the next 25 shows that he has watched this week,
Well,
which makes me jealous
not to
because I
talk about
don't.
all the hundreds of shows that I've watched this week.
Okay.
So let's see, American Horror Stories. This is the one in, one out scary shows,
Mhm.
which are I really enjoy.
How
Uh,
scary are they?
um, some are scarier than others. I don't
Okay.
think we've had a really scary one yet. But this one had to do with it's called Drive. It has to do with this girl who's out at the club, and then she she leaves and she's driving home, and someone's coming up behind her, honking their horn and flashing their lights, and so she thinks it's the killer. Somebody's like trying to kill her, or, fuck with her.
Mm.
So she loses him, and it's based on the old story that when this happens, they think the killer's behind them, but what the person in the car was really trying to warn them that there's someone in their back seat that they probably don't know about.
Oh.
So that's what it was, but they had some good twists and turns, and one really hilarious moment with a machete. So, and
Mm.
yes, I said hilarious. Um,
Okay.
let's see, RuPaul's Drag Race. This is the celebrity version. So what they did was a few years ago they had done celebrity RuPaul, and what they just had people like Vanessa Williams come on, and then they dragged them out, and they'd had three every episode, and then they would have a lip sync at the end. And now you got Vanessa Williams? She's going to win a fucking lip sync. My God! So
Yeah.
I remember her winning, and I'm thinking, well, this isn't fair. But anyway, now what they have is they have celebrities, but we don't know who they are, and
Nice.
then they dress them up in drag, and they do a lip sync, and it's kind of like the Masked Singer. So, but it was funny because the first person that went home was Loretta Devine, who is the not Dinah Ross and not Mary Wilson in the
Mm.
Dreamgirls. She's
Okay.
the one in the middle, the other one. She's the other girl.
Okay.
So she Loretta Devine, and she does everything. And if you know who she is, you know her voice. Even when you hear it in animated shows, you go, "That's Loretta Devine." So she wasn't fooling anybody when she was talking, because she was talking. We just saw the back of her head, and we hear her talking, and Sean's going, "Oh, that's the person. That's, I don't know her name, but she's in everything." And I said, "Yeah, that's Loretta Devine from Dreamgirls and everything else."
Uh,
So, and we were right. But what was really funny was the last person that went out was talking, and all of a sudden Sean and I right away look at each other, call out the name of their character from a TV show that we watched, and then laughed and high-fived. It was a
nice.
little butch, but
Yeah.
it was so hilarious because and 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 the more you watch the person, even when they were in drag, you're going, "Oh yeah, that's so
That
that."
person.
Yeah, but it was a really fun show, and it's available. Not just actually, it's not even on Paramount Plus yet. It is on network TV. I think it's isn't it VH1? Yeah, VH1 is the one that does it.
Okay.
But it's in
I'm
the
looking
Friday
forward
night
to it.
RuPaul time slot and worth watching. This week I finished Evil,
Mm,
which we got an episode that came out yesterday, and I usually don't watch it until after we, record.
right.
But I was up, I'm up at midnight watching Evil. I don't know what's wrong. That would never have happened before my days of paranormal.
Uh-huh.
But in this the well, the last week they had it was stock tips, and these people were all being like chased. Did I mention this last week?
Yeah.
I did. Okay, okay. So this week, what happens is they it's the finale, season finale. So we've they're taking Grace, who they just got back now. She had an assassination attempt. They sent her to they're sending her to the Vatican. Great. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that'll be a place to be safe. And then and the rest of the cast, the husband come they hear the husband's dead of the main character, and they're all upset, and then all of a sudden he shows up there, and but he was never really dead. He had been kidnapped, and they were faking. They were dark. What do you call that? Dark. Um, this is stuff that the South Park people do, where they can actually they've got your they know what you look like, and they know what your voice is, and they can create a video that looks like you and talks like you, but it's fake. Oh,
Okay.
deep fake,
Yeah, like
deep fake.
deep fake.
Yes. So
Okay.
were doing that. The bad guys were doing that. And at the end, let's just say um, Rosemary's Baby, Rosemary's Baby, baby. It was it was they had so many demons, and Andrea Martin can only kill so many demons in an episode. But
Yeah.
she did three. She did three. But it was a good episode. I love the show. I just love the show. So, big fun, and I hope I didn't spoil it for anybody. But how could you not watch it already? It's been out 2 days. Okay, let's see. Only murders in the building. They had a blackout. We found out who the Glitter Man is, and we got some other red herrings thrown out at us. And Brian's hating the show now, so I'm enjoying it even more.
Awesome.
On Big Brother, they got rid of Daniel, who was a dick. Um, but the thing is, right before uh, they're voting, he goes, "Oh, by the way, you people are all clowns for sending me away,
Mm.
and you don't know what you're doing. But if you want to keep me, I'll be very dedicated to you. But you probably won't. So fuck you all." It was basically what he said. And so after they voted him off, he went out there, and Julie Chen goes, you probably shouldn't call them clowns before they vote. You
Eh.
know, you may have gotten more votes if you weren't, being an asshole.
Uh,
So that was pretty funny. And then Taylor, who Daniel was trying to get out the whole time, and that was the person you kept hearing online that they were picking on. Well, she's now head of household, so let's see what she does.
hmm.
Um, Bachelorette last week, hilarious. Rachel had another breakdown.
Hmm.
After Logan tells Rachel that he wants to switch over to be on Gabby's dating team, then Rachel, it's like maximum tears, and she runs to Gabby and tells her what the situation is. Gabby talks to Logan and decides that she wants to keep him, and you can tell Rachel's not happy about that. So that was fun. And and then Gabby, have you ever watched the show?
Oh, you know what? I think maybe the first season.
Okay, well they have what they call a group date, and that's where they go out with like 10 people and the person who's the bachelorette. And
Okay.
so they're all dressed kind of casually, ready to go out and run through Belgium, and all of a sudden, Gabby shows up dressed like a whore. So I
Hmm.
was just really surprised. It was like an inappropriate outfit for the event that they were going on. I was just it shocked me. Um, and but I don't think she cried this episode.
Hmm.
She had to have. She had to have cried. Anyway, at the end, instead of sending Logan home, she gave Logan a rose, and Rachel was not happy about that. So, yay, good stuff. This week on High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 3, summer camp, episode 3, The Woman in the Woods. And so, what happened was, before they were going to post the cast list, everybody was going out camping in the woods, even though they're already at a camp in the woods. This is they go out in tents and they tell ghost stories and sit around a campfire, which I think they do anyway in camps. But okay, so and then they tell a scary story about the woman in the woods, and it was kind of like goofy. And first of all, they send them out in these huge tents. They can stand up in kind of tents,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids brought all sorts of decorations for inside their tent for one fucking night. It was a little ridiculous, but um, it's more good original music, which I like. And they had this really cool theater like playhouse that they do their shows in. So that was kind of fun. And it kind of has the Glee feel to it, with that being all the song, with all new songs,
Right.
except for the stuff from Frozen, which is the musical they're doing. Frozen 2, actually.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Started a League of Our Own
Oh.
on Prime. It's a new series,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd like it because it's extra lesbian.
Yay.
Yeah, so it's like I'm going. This feels very lesbian, and then the further you got in the episode, it was very lesbian. So and that was
Oh,
the whole fear of the girls' baseball team, was that they were promoting lesbianism at the
right.
time. So fun stuff. On Alone, we finished season 2 and we started season 3. So they went from um, Vancouver Island to Patagonia, which is at the bottom tip of South America, and in an area that looks pretty similar to where they were, but this is on a lake instead of on an ocean river. And um, and, and it's been interesting, but I'm really getting frustrated with the people on the show, because as the show progresses, they come they come to the event with more knowledge. Um, and the one thing that they go, the one thing I'm not going to have a problem with is dealing with being alone, because that seems to be the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
So and and it's always, I'm so sad. I miss my children. I miss my no. What you miss is your running water. You miss your microwave. You
Mm-hmm.
miss your air conditioning and heating. You miss the convenience of running out and getting a burger. That's what you miss. You don't miss your fucking kids. I'm sorry, because they go, I miss my kids. I wished I had something to do, like watch
Mm-hmm.
TV or something, something to take the time away. Fuck you people. And but what they are doing is they're doing a lot of projects. I mean, these guys are building shit out there you would not believe. It's incredible. I mean, like, their shelters are wildly amazing.
Oh.
And they're dealing with and I love I'm so angry at the show. They're going, I haven't had food. And it's like, okay, first thing you do in the morning, you get up, you pee, and then you go down to the fucking lake and fish until you get a fucking fish.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get fish. Why? Because you don't try. We do a lot of yelling at the screen.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And that's on all eight seasons is on Hulu.
And what
You
is
can
it?
watch season 8 on like Discovery Plus and on Netflix, but if you really need to start from the beginning.
What show is it on
This is
again?
called Alone.
Okay.
Alone. Okay. I watched the first couple episodes of Sandman. The first episode is like totally different from the second one. It's almost like
Uh-huh.
they did the pilot and then they said, well, we'll buy it, but you need to go a different way with this. You need to figure out to make it more something, because the
How far
second
in it are
episode,
you?
second episode.
Oh, you just said that. Uh, it continues that way.
Okay.
It's kind of two or three feelings of shows in different episodes. So yeah, I'm interested to see when you watch more what you think.
Okay. I think we watched something else last night that I didn't write down. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, and I did want to mention that right now on different streaming services, when they start releasing movies, and for some reason they released a ton of them this week.
Yeah.
Belfast, which was up for Best Picture last year,
Yes.
Kenneth Branagh, that is on HBO Max. Prey, which started last week, is on Hulu, which is a Predator
Hmm.
pre sequel. What do they call?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. Licorice Pizza is now on Prime. That was up for Best Picture. Uncharted, ugh, was on. It's on Netflix, and Black Phone is now on Peacock.
Belfast was a hard watch, but it was really good.
It looks like it's a good show. And speaking of Uncharted, I did watch it, and it was just so boring for
Uh-huh.
a video game movie about, you know, I expected, I mean, I didn't expect, Best Picture, but I thought it was going to be like National Treasure.
Yeah.
This was like, we don't want to look like National Treasure, so we're going to go in a different direction, and that was the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And a huge cast and nothing. It's just blah blah.
Yeah, I watched it last night and I agree with you. It was so full of plot holes. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's like we have a great cast. We have Tom Holland who looks good in tight wet clothes, which was like every other scene practically. And we have some ideas for some cool new uh action adventure effects, which were cool, but
yeah,
it was just I was bored.
yeah. It was like, I mean, I made the reference to Brian that in the first 10 minutes of Indiana Jones was more exciting than the first 2/3 of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I kept waiting for where's the big adventure. I've seen Sean play the game. It's more about going out there and finding the stuff and less about why we're going out there. We already
Right.
know. No one's watching the show if they don't goddamn know a little bit about the fucking game. I
Yeah.
don't know. Very angry. Very
I
angry.
just I thought it was sad and I didn't believe Tom Holland in that role. It
Yeah.
was like
Well,
half of him, he was just too innocent and falling into things, and yet at the other time he was so knowledgeable about blah 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 that it was like, ugh,
well, how about
who
Mark
cares?
Wallenberg, who obviously didn't give a shit. He walked
Yeah,
around. I'm surprised he just wasn't smoking a cigarette sitting on a chair every time they went back to him, going, "Oh,
phoning
it's
it
my
in.
turn."
Yeah,
My
exactly. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, not good.
Mm,
Um, and I mean, and it had all the, it had all the elements you need, and it
yes.
actually, for as cool as the sets were,
Hmm.
it looked cheap.
It
Um,
did, and not only that, but like that ship, I'm like looking at it going, the outer versions of that ship are way too fucking small for what you're trying to do with the inner versions.
well,
It,
and
it,
not just that, you pick those ships up and they're going to disintegrate.
thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And also what I loved was, remember when they were before they went into the disco, um and they're going through these like tunnels, and I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking, so no one's been in there in 600 years, so
Yes.
why do they have the lights, the
It's
safety
another,
light?
yes, it's another plot hole. And they're building a disco and a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant. And they're just going to keep this great big thing with this old key and shit. Oh, and the church behind the walls, you're in fucking sewers. There are modern pipes laid all throughout that, and they just never discovered that
Right, exactly. Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
Well, I'm glad you felt you I'm so glad you understand where my frustration was.
I
So
wanted to like it.
yeah, I love those kind of movies.
Yeah.
So tell us about your week.
Okay. Well, let's see here. So obviously, like I said, watched Uncharted. I also watched Lock and Key season three.
That's what I watched that first episode.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I watched that and I it was good. It was a good solid ending for the series. Now, obviously at the end they left a little something to make it sound like he could possibly come back, or it was just like maybe a little flashback to remind you of whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
doing any spoilers, but um
Yeah, I thought the first episode was really solid,
yeah.
with the whole snow globe thing, and it was it was a complete episode on its own.
Uh,
I love the two women, and then I love the fact that the mom is involved this season, because
yes.
it's I mean, if I were, well, I was going to say if I was an adult, which I am, and I'm in these shows, they give you nothing.
Hmm.
You get to do nothing, and all the kids run around behind, and you're almost have to be a moron because you're not catching on that this is happening around you.
Right. And that's what the mother, now obviously I know that
It's episode one. Don't give
yeah,
it any
but
more.
magic in this series, when you're an adult, if you're exposed to magic, you forget about it like
Right.
5 minutes later. But the mother was such an ingenue in the other ones and so pointless. Like she just, oh, I don't know. And who cared? Who cared about her? I don't care.
Yeah, I saw a giant rat poop in the
Yeah,
living room, and I'm not sure what that's all about.
yeah.
Okay,
So,
thanks, Mom.
right. It was just like, who cares about this character? Um, but in this season, she was really good. Not only was she solid, but they showed they showed a little bit of her past and some stuff that happened, which I thought really gave the character some depth, actually. Um, they they just it was a solid season, and actually if they had had this much more into season two rather than focusing so much on the how evil the bad guys were, I think it would have been a better season. But so if you like Lock and Key, you're gonna like this one, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna like
I
how it
agree.
wraps up too.
Good.
So, and then I wasn't sure what to watch, so I just ended up watching Uncoupled finally. I've had so many people tell me that I have to watch it, and so many people tell me, oh, don't bother watching it. I mean, seriously, it's rare that I found a show that there are so many people just so opposite about it.
Well, gay people, they love to hate, so
They love to hate their own shit and tear it down. And I really
that's
think
why
that's something that's going
that's
on
why
with
we
this
never
show.
get our shit on television anymore because we won't even support it.
Yeah, it's really true. And I'm just really, and yet everybody was, even the people that didn't like, what was the last one? Heart Stoppers, Heart Throbs, whatever. I still haven't watched it. Um,
Heartbreaker.
Heartbreakers, yeah. Even the people that didn't care for it didn't hate on it. They're just like, oh well, it wasn't really for me. And then other people were like, oh, I've watched it 7 times. I'm just so in love with it.
Yeah,
Um,
it was different, but we had the same problem with Queer as Folk.
oh
It
yeah,
so and I didn't like Queer as Folk because I didn't feel anything for anybody. But that
hmm,
I'm not saying it wasn't a well done show. And for those people who like it, good, like it.
right, yeah,
Um, and the same thing with I haven't watched I'm just going to episode 8, so the end of Uncoupled season.
okay,
And and the thing is that sure it has that, what was that crappy show? Sex and the City. It has that kind of
ah,
feel to it, but it's still, a very funny show, well
hmm,
acted show. I think that people don't understand this isn't real life.
yeah,
This is this is pretty much a modern farce.
mm,
I mean, with as many things that has happened to in episode 7 with
yeah,
with the hot tub and the black eye and
uh-huh,
all of the embarrassment that went along with it, including the pink ski suit.
Oh
you know,
yeah,
as a running gag.
yeah.
It's just yeah, it's I just don't understand why people don't like this. And I keep thinking, well, maybe they're not old enough. But no, the people that don't like it are the people who should like it.
Right. And because it really is, part of I have a huge thread on Facebook where I was talking about just like that I like the show, and massive amounts of comments and stuff after it. And a lot of the people were saying, I don't identify with any of these people. When are they going to write something about me? I'm a middle class working dad who has two kids, and I'm not a rich lawyer and or whatever he was doing, selling real estate in NYC and blah. And I'm like, I get that. I honestly I get that. And yeah, that would be good to have more shows like that. But you're not going to get more shows like that when
You won't
you're
support these.
yeah. And
Um, but look, you know what? I remember when Modern Family came out and people were going, "Oh, the gay characters are such caricatures. There's
mhm.
no person. I don't know anybody like Cam." And I'm like,
Yeah,
hello. Uh,
yeah.
I know one, and it's me.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that oh well, Will and Grace, he's this good looking lawyer, and
Uh-huh.
then you go, well, Sean Hayes' character, he was milking off everybody. Yeah, well, how did he pay for an apartment? It's like, what's wrong with you people? Shut up. It's a
Yeah.
comedy. You know,
Right.
we don't have to go home and see what's going on at what was his name, Floyd the barber's house.
Yeah.
We don't have to give you all the information. Their characters are there to be funny. Laugh
Mm.
at the show and stop analyzing everything.
Yeah. It's very true. And it's the same with this. It's like it it just it was a good solid show, even if you didn't identify with the character. I had a couple friends who were pissed off because it talked about it slut shamed and prep shamed. And I'm just like, okay, you're talking about a character who's been in a relationship for 17 years, remembers the end of the really horrible first days of HIV. You're talking about uh, somebody who, in the beginning of the show, is kind of a self-absorbed asshole,
Right.
and evolves through the course of the show to realize that he is a self-absorbed asshole and try to be a better person. And then comes the farce and the dates. And I'll tell you, that one guy, that one that was like the 6 day guy, and that's all I'm going to say in case anyone hasn't seen this yet. Oh my God, I was feeling claustrophobic over that one.
Oh no, for me it was the guy with the he was the not plastic surgeon, but he was the skin doctor,
Oh yes.
and his suggestion on how to make things work.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God, that was
run,
crazy.
run.
Yeah,
But
Mr. Oh, I want to go slow and everything. And then suddenly it's like, yeah, like, oh, I did not see that coming,
I
actually.
didn't either, and it was hilarious. But and the other part that kind of you talk about prep shaming. He wasn't prep shaming. He just didn't know what it was.
Right. He was just like, and okay, and the line where he found out that his boyfriend or his ex was gonna go on prep, and then he said some really bitter thing about it afterward. Somebody took that as prep shaming, and I'm like, he wasn't prep shaming. Have you ever broken up with somebody and said really horrible things because you're pissed off and hurt?
Right. Yeah.
That's the character.
Yeah. There was nothing. I mean, they were throwing out all sorts of shit that he's never even thought about.
Uh-huh.
He hasn't had to think about it.
Right.
And he was just, it was overwhelming. And it was, it's like, I would say that half of what they were telling him, he probably had only heard of in like overhearing his black friend who's a whore talk about, but he's probably not even talking about that with him anyway, because it has no effect of him. I mean,
Hmm.
we know a lot of people who are man whores, and that's fine.
Right.
But you know what? As I've been in a relationship for 17 years, and so I'm thinking, you know, I don't know what would happen, you know, and so there's just elements. It's just it's somebody's life that we're learning about.
Hmm.
Calm the fuck down, people.
Right. I mean, you could go so
It's
far
not
as
about you. You're right. This
exactly.
you are not this guy. But
Yeah.
you know what? You're also not Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz. You're not Dorothy thrown into it.
Right.
God, what does everything have to be about everyone now?
I know. I use the reference. You know what? Hocus Pocus isn't about your life, but you still like it. You're not represented. No, there are some things that I was like, I was surprised they didn't have a positive character. Um, I don't know. I just don't know with that. And then you haven't watched the next episode, so I'm not gonna say one thing that happens that I was just like, oh really? Oh come on, you'll know it when you see it.
Right.
And then what was the other thing? There was some I don't know, but honestly, people talking smack about, oh, he's so thin, and I'm like, he was fine. I mean, he may not be your type, whatever, but other people would be like, oh, he's too fat. I don't know, just
The whole time, all the guys were too thin. I said it myself, but that doesn't mean I'm not watching the show.
right. Oh, and then the one fat guy is not that fat,
I know.
but I'll tell you that scene when he started getting some, that was probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole show.
Well, yeah, and you know who the date was, don't you?
I kept thinking, and I was gonna look him up. But, oh wait, no, I did look him up.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I forgot.
um
Oh,
the God, I can't think of his the lead's husband,
oh,
his real husband.
oh, that's right. Okay, but no, I had to look him up because I remembered him from another show that he did. Now, oh, it was the revival show. They just the '70s show, Bitter Queen. They just redid it on Netflix about a year ago. It's a Broadway show, Boys in the Band.
Oh, was he in that?
Yeah,
Like, he might as well have been. I mean, his
they
husband.
both were. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how they got together.
No, they've been together for years.
Oh, have they?
Yes, they
Oh,
have
I
two.
thought that's how they got together.
No, they have two children. They've been together for probably 10 to 15 years.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know they'd been together that long. All right. So yeah, that's what. Oh, and I did watch one other show after that. I wanted to just watch something light, so I watched Instant Dream Home, which just came onto Netflix.
Right.
I've watched all 8 episodes. It is a very easy watch. It's got Nicole, or not, is it? No, Danielle, who was in Orange is the New Black, I think.
Okay.
She's the host of it. She just does a great job. They basically what they do is they make it so that they have an accomplice, of course, who nominates someone. They pretend that they are interviewing them in case they get selected for like a renovation of their house, but it never, then they say, oh no, you got turned down, but they really select them, and then they find a way to get them out of the house for 12 hours. And during that 12 hours, they do a complete home makeover, like inside and out. And it takes about 250 people every episode. And yeah, seriously, I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine how much money that costs to do
Now
that
I'm
whole
just
thing?
imagining that many people running through my filthy house.
And it would be spotless afterward. They'd probably knock
Well,
down a wall or two.
well,
Yeah, but right, I was like, oh, imagine
and
how
by the
wonderful
way,
that would be.
Danielle, it was also in the John Cena show, the superhero show on
Oh,
what was his name? oh god, I can never remember his name. But yeah, she was the one of the leads in that, and she's going to be playing the Oprah Winfrey character in the musical movie of Color Purple.
Oh, that's funny because there was a Color Purple joke in there too. She's like,
And
"Oh, I
well,
do like the Color Purple."
she also played on Broadway as well.
That's what I thought. It was probably the Broadway show. Okay. Um, it's got a great, there's like a core group of four people. It's a really great show, and there's some really cute eye candy in there. The outside guy, Nick, and then the construction guy, carpenter, Eric. Just beautiful men. Um,
Peacemaker. That's the John Cena show.
gotcha. I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh my god, it's so good.
You said, yeah, I remember you said it was.
The first couple episodes, you're kind of getting your bearings, but after that, it's just like, let's go. Give me more episodes. Fortunately, it was picked up. I'm really happy about that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend if you like the home renovation stuff, if you like just a nice, easy watch and some, pretty eye candy and a great host, go check out Instant Dream Home. It's on Netflix, all 8 episodes. And that is what I did. Other than this week, I went to a birthday party and a happy hour and ended up eating at the same place two times in the week.
And it's a bad place. So,
Well, it's it's not like something that you would say if somebody wanted to go to a top restaurant. You'd say, if I want something cheap and easy, I'd say, well, not here. It's easy, but it ain't cheap.
well, and it's also one of those bag restaurants.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah.
everything is, put in a
Pre-cooked.
bag and or a box, and
Hmm.
oh, what's the order? Okay, boom, 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 slice, heat,
Yep,
serve.
very, very much so.
Yeah.
But the main thing I was just kind of PO'd about the prices because everything's gone up like $5 at least. And even the tea price has almost doubled. So yeah, it's crazy. Hey, we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, be you. That Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told that we're too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs listeners can use the code FMWildChub to get 20% off while ordering anything over at fatmarkerclothing.com. And I have seen some hot new models and some hot new ads that
Yes, that
right.
their ads are getting even better.
Yes. So you can really go check them out. And you know what? If you can't afford to buy anything, at least go check them out and look at the hot men's. All right. Time for advice. Dear Prudy, slate.com. Go check them out. Subscribe. Throw them a bone. Um, I'm in a healthy, happy, loving relationship with my girlfriend. After both of us had a long stretch of toxic, abusive, and awful relationships, we found each other finally and are genuinely happy, pushing a year now. I came from a large, somewhat traditional family, more traditional than most, but not at the extreme, and we're very close. The problem is that the first time everyone in my family met my girlfriend, she was on the brink of an anxiety attack. She is bipolar and has anxiety, both of which she takes medication for. She was nervous about meeting my family, and she expressed it by getting drunk and by being somewhat too open in conversation, particularly with my young cousins, talking about porn and slapping an abusive ex, or obviously more adult conversations. Now she's extremely uncomfortable around them and she doesn't want to come to any functions. My family has given me some grief about her behavior. How I how do I resolve this without placing an undue and unfair burden on my girlfriend or my family to change their ways? Should I tell my family to lower their expectations, which aren't fair to anyone I date? Or ask my girlfriend to temper her personality for my family? I think both options suck and are frankly rude, and I don't know where to go from there. I
Well,
would
you
say, you know what? Maybe you should not talk about adult subjects with the kids.
right, right. That's where I would start it off. I would go,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? The family was a little upset that you were talking about porn with,
Hmm.
the 8-year-old because they don't need that kind of conversation that need to happen.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that. I mean, if there's certain like let's say personality issues that they have, I would leave that and tell the family, okay, so she's a little out there. Get
Hmm.
over. If you
Yeah.
don't want us to come over, if you don't want her over, then we don't have to come over.
Right.
And you know what? They'll shut up. And but
Hmm.
she needs to also know what's the appropriate time to say what.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I have no problem with that at
that's
all.
I would agree too. Um, your girlfriend's behavior was bad by any standard, not just traditional ones. And it doesn't sound like she has apologized to anyone in your family for getting wasted and talking about pornography and violence in front of your young cousins.
They were 8. Come on.
Well, they were not eight.
Oh, I'm making them 8. Go ahead.
Okay. Uh, that's the first step, I think, in trying to repair this relationship. Since it's your family and not hers, you can help by asking your relatives if they would be open to hearing an apology from her and facilitating that conversation. That won't be especially comfortable for either of you, I'm sure, and it may be easier for her to put something in writing beforehand so she has a clear sense of what she needs to apologize for and how she plans to do better in the future. This isn't a referendum on
Jesus,
her
this thing
mental what?
better in the future.
Right. This isn't a referendum on her mental health issues, but an acknowledgement that she chose to get drunk and behave badly as a result. You're not asking her to temper her personality. You're asking her to tell you if she's anxious or not up to being around people so that the two of you can make alternate arrangements or leave early rather than self medicating with alcohol and acting out. I'm not quite sure why you think this would involve asking your family to lower their expectations. Expecting your girlfriend not to get wasted and make children uncomfortable at a family function is a very reasonable expectation.
I mean, they were 8.
Yes. Well, actually,
She called them children.
I guess. Well, okay, but honestly, this is first off, it's not this one's not she. This is written by Danny Lavery, who is the transgender person there. Um, and Daniel's advice always seems to be much more like she still has some of her own wounds to heal, so she kind of takes it out on other people.
Okay, I don't care. That's not what these articles are for. So,
He,
but
they take
but
it out on other people.
I just yeah, it's just this is kind of it's an interesting situation
Yeah.
that probably we've all had a moment or two that we had to deal with. I mean, think about people you've had living with you, and things they've done, embarrassing things for the family. Okay, that's fine. But you get through them this doesn't have to be such a production. I don't think she has to apologize to anybody. Just don't do it again.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't, I'd be, fuck you, I'm not going to apologize. Sorry, here, I'll apologize to you. Sorry, I went to your family's party and it was boring. How about that? And I got drunk.
Yeah, see, I would probably be if it were me, I would probably be a little bit more like when I walked in and saw them, I just say like, "Hey, I'm sorry that, I was a little out of it last time," and leave it at that and move on.
It won't leave at that. That's the problem. I
Anyway,
understand what you're saying, but
yeah.
these people will not, let it go. I can feel it already.
Well, then I would make them let it go.
Okay,
There
hurry
are
up.
ways.
I'm
There are
hungry.
ways.
I
Anyway,
need food.
okay. Well, it's a good thing. Oh, I was gonna say it's a good thing because we're about to lunchbox, but you'll have to wait just another moment. Hey Chubs, have you ever wished you were straight?
Of course.
When I was younger,
There's
like
always
a
going to be a
teenager, and yeah.
there's always going to be a situation where I wished I wasn't fat, or I wished I wasn't, old, or I wished I didn't have brown eyes. There's always a
hmm
situation for that.
And
But
usually that situation's when you're 16 and finding out that you're different and being made fun for it.
well, yeah, hopefully 16 or older, but for some
Yeah.
it was even earlier.
Oh yeah. I was in what, seventh grade getting it. So,
But yeah, and I'm sure that there's people out there, straight people who go, God, it would be so much easier if I was gay.
oh yeah. And they usually say that when they're older though,
Yeah,
which is
but
when we usually say we wish we were straight is when we were younger. So,
and a whole lot has to do with your next question.
yeah. What's your favorite thing about being gay?
I'm not expected to have children.
Oh, hmm. Okay.
No one
Really?
ever
Because I'll tell you
said,
the modern sensibility.
well, sure, but I've never had anybody say, "Oh, why don't you have kids?"
Yeah, there's that.
And thankfully, I'm with somebody who does not want to have kids either. So that works out great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just that was the I remember John Waters always said the fun part about being gay was that you didn't have to go to war, and you didn't have to go to war, and you didn't have to get married. So,
Well, yeah, things
but
have
for
changed
me, it was
there.
always because my brother didn't have children and didn't want children,
Mm,
but he was expected to have children,
right.
and I just I feel that's why I think some straight people might go, yeah, it'd be easier if I was gay because I don't want kids, and then
hmm
they get off my fucking back.
Right.
Yeah.
But now we're expected to be more heteronormative. So,
So what about you?
um, for me, honestly, kind of everything. But I guess maybe the main thing is that it has given me a perspective outside of well, actually, kind of the norm that I was allowed to kind of, once I kind of figured myself out, I could see things outside of, I didn't become my family, unfortunately, in this last generation or so, really fell into that like white working class uh Christian nationalist mentality. And it something that disturbs me. And the fact that I was different, that I had to, means that I have been able to see injustice and uh, all the horrible things that make me the more liberal person that I am, that I'm not caught up in some horrible toxic fucking cycle, heterosexual cycle. And
Yeah.
I don't mean to diss any of our heterosexual listeners or supporters or anything like that. It's just I'm talking specifically about my family. I would have fallen into that. I would have emulated them and done the same thing, I think. And it just it feels almost suffocating to think about. So anyway, so I get to see things from my own perspective.
I know it's too bad because it would have been fun watching you at the insurrection.
I hope I wouldn't have been that fucking crazy. My mom did raise me a little bit differently, but
Well, that's because your mom raised you a little bit differently. But if you had fallen into your family's,
that's
you
true. I
know,
either that or I would have been in church praying for them and raising money to get them out. Yeah. All right. Hey, Tom, take a guess. How many nurses
yes.
are in the USA?
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
How many nurses are in the USA?
Um, I'll say 700,000.
Interesting. Okay, so um here's the thing. I These numbers are released in the 2021 report, but they're actually pulled together in 2019. So since the pandemic, I wonder how much these may have dropped.
Well,
Anyway, estimated 2,389 655 or thousand blah blah blah, a lot, almost 24 million. No, that's not right. Let me try this again. 2,389,655 registered nurses,
just one.
920,780
Okay.
nursing assistants, and 585,169 licensed practical and vocational nurses. Now, so according to the survey, there were 264,002 women physicians. I would have thought there were a hell of a lot more women physicians than that.
Well, if you talk to a nurse, he or she, in my case, he'll always tell you there's not enough nurses. So
Yeah, well, I believe it. I mean, I really believe it. That amount of nurses for that amount of, I mean, 300 or more million, or people in the US, that's insane. All right. Well, there's that. Everybody go get your nursing license. What's in your lunchbox? Well, Mr. Moose wrote in and he said, "This is what's in my box." Lunch was a couple of arapas. Here's a picture of one.
yeah,
It's a South American dish, a picture of cornbread filled with black-eyed peas, salsa, shredded chicken, and cheese. Sounds lovely.
it does.
And another boring picture, green beans and chicken. Hopefully next week will be more interesting, heading back out to Fort Lauderdale. At least there will be pie. That sounds lovely. I could definitely go for some pie. And actually, that doesn't look boring to me at all. It looks
I know. I don't know what's
wonderful.
wrong with him. I think,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that to me, it looks like I don't have to go out and get some lunch because it's already available.
Yeah.
Give that to me now.
Yep. Oh, I had this last week, I forgot, I had some orange chicken from more traditional Chinese place up here on Broadway.
Yeah.
And a couple of things on their menu was saliva chicken and something jellyfish.
Wait, saliva?
Yeah, saliva, and I'm not, unless it was like a crazy ass misprint. It was saliva chicken and some sort of something jellyfish. And I texted our friend Lori Dean back, and I said, "This is why we can't have nice Chinese food." It just sounded horrible.
Well, I told you about the time I went to that buffet down off of Florin, and it was a beautiful buffet. They had just everything was green and gorgeous and
Mhm.
colors. And I saw this one thing. It looked like it was just like this. I thought it was just gravy. So I'm like, where are the mashed potatoes? Where? And so I stirred it up, and it was chicken feet in
Oh
the
yeah.
gravy.
But see, I guess the idea of chicken feet, I don't want it. It's kind of like pig's feet too. I don't want it, but it doesn't gross me out. It just is like, okay, that's what some people eat. But when I hear saliva chicken and jellyfish, I'm just like, what the hell? I don't understand. How do you make enough chicken spit to be able to, ugh.
No, they're spitting on it. The cook
Uh,
is.
oh, yeah. I'm sure it's just, anyway, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. All right. Also, Mr. Michael Sage wrote in and said, "Here's some fried chicken. Chicken is spelled Chiken, with mashed potatoes, with greens, and quote bacon bits." And Mr. Michael Sage is a vegetarian, so yes, the fried chicken and bacon is not real meat, not
Okay.
real meat.
uh,
It's dildo meat. No, anyway. All right. Hey, send us an email at
wait,
chubsgonewild@gmail.com.
no, I got to tell you something.
Okay.
Okay, here's the recipe for saliva chicken.
Uh,
It's two pieces, two chicken legs, a half a cucumber, a bottle of spicy red oil,
Oh my God.
um, chopped green onions, ginger, and cooking wine.
Hmm.
So why it's called saliva, I don't know, but
Maybe it makes
there's no spit involved.
that is good. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but you should call it, red spice wine. You should,
Anything else?
yeah, because
Here's a picture of what it looks like.
oh, it doesn't look bad.
No, it just looks like maybe, I bet the hot oil brings out the saliva
Uh-huh. That's what
in
I was
you.
wondering.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. Still, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely never order that.
Not with the jellyfish. Uh, Um, hey, send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Watch our videos over at YouTube. Just search for Chubs Gone Wild and watch videos of, oh no, I said that one. Please consider becoming a patron of the show over at patreon.com/Matt Burlingame for as little as $1. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at swannerandjudd.com and find their podcast in iTunes or on iHeartRadio. Find out more about my books over at justkisstheguy.com and check out my other podcast at bigksexshow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes, Queen, and welcome the anticipation for Halloween. Okay, we will catch you next week. Bye.